am speaking of the play where a player fumbles in the field of play through the end zone, out on the side or out in the back, and the defense gets a touchback.
It's the most punitive play in all of sports. It makes no sense whatsoever. It's the only place on the entire field where this happens. Everyone thinks it's dumb, basically, in the NFL, and yet it never changes. And normally when, whether it's a horse collar tackle, and I get those are injuries, but, even a PI call, remember the Saints in the playoffs, and they did that rule for a year, or, what is or isn't a catch. It kind of blows me away that you're right, and that it doesn't happen all the time, but it is a frequent occurrence. And every time it happens, especially in big games, it is brought up, but nothing is ever done about it. And I'm, unfortunately with this Chiefs one, because the Chiefs won the game, it's going to take something like that where a team like Kansas City and Mahomes loses a game because of something like this, and then maybe they'll take action. But it's just it's the dumbest thing in the world. At any other point on the field, if you fumble a ball and it goes out of bounds, the other team doesn't get it. It's not like I fumble the ball, there's no recovery, and not only that, but they get it at the 20. They get to advance it. It just it makes no sense whatsoever.
Well, last year, I don't know who the head cheese is at the NFL about all this stuff, but they asked him, and he said there's no momentum at all to change this rule. Last year he said that. Yeah. Now ESPN is reporting that after the Mecole Hardman one, it will almost certainly be a rule change.
I hope
they are
so.
going to change it.
The idea was always that you don't want people just, no matter what, extending the ball.
Yeah, just fumbled at no consequence.
Yeah. So you just have people all willy-nilly. But again, that's so dumb. As if anyone's going to be like, well, I guarantee this fumble's going through the end zone. I mean, that's just such a silly thing. But Hardman's, he wasn't reaching. Hardman's, and it was just so razor thin about whether that was or wasn't a fumble, and it ended up dribbling out there. And really, it gave Buffalo life. I mean, that seals the game for Kansas City. And so maybe that's the one, is because he wasn't reaching for it. It was just kind of one of those fluke things that happened. But I just, the fear-mongering of the idea that anyone getting near the goal line is now just going to willy-nilly just fling the ball towards the goal line, consequences be damned. Like, how stupid do you have to be to think that?
So what should it be?
I go, if it's not a clear recovery, it goes like, I do not understand. So there's 100 yards on the field, and if it's fumbled anywhere else and it goes out of bounds, it just goes back to where you fumbled. So if you're on the 2-yard line and you fumble it through the back of the end zone and the other team doesn't recover it, you get the ball on the 2.
Okay. So you don't even think it should be penalized at all?
Well, why is it not penalized anywhere else on the field?
Well, because the end zone's different. I mean, I think that would be the... Well, it is. It's points as opposed to just, a yard or two. I mean, the goal line is obviously a very different area than the, 40 or whatever. Yeah. So I think there would probably be some momentum to make it penal in some way. In other words, a couple of things I've read. One person suggested a loss of down.
I could see that.
Another suggested the offense keeps the ball, or whoever fumbled keeps the ball, but you go back to the 20.
Yeah.
So something like that is a little bit more palatable, I think, than just
no penalty.
No penalty at all.
Well, that's fine. If you want to have something punitive, I guess I'd be, if you want to, I don't know about 20, because again, there's no 20-yard penalty unless you're talking about pass interference. So, which is a spot foul. Look, if you want it to be a 5 or a 10-yard penalty, I mean, I guess, but I just do not understand for the life of me why, if you fumble the ball, it is upon the defense to recover it in order for the defense to be rewarded with it. Whereas in this case, that one area, now we're like, well, you fumble the ball, screw you. The defense doesn't have to do anything. In fact, the defense can just kick the damn thing out of bounds. They don't have to recover it.
What if you change it all and the ball goes out of bounds, the defense gets it, but their new line of scrimmage is the back of the end zone. Right under the goalpost.
You have to get 10 yards.
Running a play from the end zone?
Yes.
Well, I guess
change everything.
This would be my one. If you are insistent on this being a turnover, then the new offense who
gets it at the 1,
wherever you fumble it.
Yeah.
You fumble it at the 3. That's where the fumble was.
Yeah, I don't mind that.
That's where you get it.
I don't mind that.
So at least then you say that there is it's not just just here's a free 20 yards. At least then the new defense has a chance to, to pin you. I mean, that's the whole point of going for it on 4th down at the 1 or whatever, is if you don't get it, you pin the team, and there's a good chance of you getting it back and play field position. It's hard to go 93 or 95, 98 yards or whatever. That would be the bare minimum that I would be on board with. And not that my opinion matters. I just think it's silly that the rule exists everywhere else, and it's the exact same. Then we get to the goal line, and then it's a magical thing.
Well, the goal line is different. As someone points out, you get sacked in the end zone, it's 2 points and the ball. Anywhere else, it's just a sack. So they're obviously... I mean, there's definitely a difference.
Well, again, I guess I would say that's slightly different because, again, you can't just run out of the back of the end zone forever. There does have to be a limit. I think that's a little bit of apples to oranges. I mean, I kind of get where you're going, where you're going with that, but that seems very, I don't know. I just don't think those things are related. Of course, the end zone is different, but being so punitive without the defense doing anything. I mean, I guess you forced a fumble, but just the idea of you dropping the ball and then giving it to the defense and then getting them on the 20, not on board.
I think there's a way to make it better, for sure.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't think it's quite as dumb as you do, but I get it. It could be better. I don't necessarily know exactly what that is, but all the suggestions all have, that we've been mentioning here have merit.
You could, I feel like there's a few rules that you could fix in the NFL, this being one of them if you brought the Rouge in from the CFL, which is a 1-point play, essentially. I mean, why not? I'd love it. The offense keeps the ball. However, the defense is awarded a point. So you move them back to the 3 or wherever the ball went, the player was out of bounds or down, but then the defense gets a point. Like that really...
That's what they do in the CFL?
There's a couple of situations where I can't remember the exact play, but like either a change of possession or some kind of special thing happens, they get a Rouge, which is a 1-point score, and it happens in like 3 or 4 different situations, and I do feel like that's an incentive here in the NFL. Yeah, let the offense keep the ball, but how many times have we seen points, 1 or 2 or 3 decide a game? That point is meaningful.
I can't say I knew that about the CFL.
I didn't know that either.
Schultz with hot CFL talk.
Love that.
That would be interesting, and I don't think anyone would ever be on board with it.
They would never do that.
But that would be...
Or you take a point away from the team that fumbled it. They wouldn't. I tell you what, they'd hold on to that damn ball.
Yeah.
Especially in a close game.
This is like the definition in Canadian football: a single point or Rouge is a 1-point score awarded for certain plays that involve the ball being kicked into the end zone or not returned from it. So I feel like right around the end zone here, this is kind of this availability for a Rouge style point in the NFL.
Well, someone did point out on the Vancouver Vortex line that the overtime rule was specifically changed because of the Chiefs and Bills. And wouldn't that be something if we see this rule change simply because of Chiefs Bills?
Was that the coin toss thing?
Yeah. Yeah, well, where both teams get a chance. Because remember, in that one, the 13-second game, Mahomes gets it, drives down, field goal, thanks for coming,
Well, no, the field goal.
Well, the field goal went to overtime, but then, the Bills never got to touch the ball after that. And now we're guaranteed
That's what changed that?
That's what changed it. Yeah, now you're guaranteed a chance to touch the ball. Yeah.
I don't remember that one being the one that, as a matter of fact, until I rewatched it today, I saw somebody posted the clip of the way that game ended. And by the way, that's one of the greatest finishes in NFL history.
Yeah.
When the 13-second Bills-Chiefs game.
I still can't believe that they gave that up.
I had forgotten that the kick was only to tie. Not to win.
Yeah, they were down by 3, and it was a 50+ yard kick. By someone, I don't remember who it was. Might have been Dirt and Sprague, or maybe it was Colin. Someone was talking about that today. I forget who it was, but was this is kind of was my point with the whole Josh Allen, Pat Mahomes thing, and like, oh, Josh Allen can't beat Patrick Mahomes. It's like the Tom Brady. How many of Tom Brady's games were saved by Gakowski, or is it Adam Vinatieri was the other one? Is it Steven? Was it Gostkowski? Right? Like, if those kicks don't go in, is Tom Brady any less of a quarterback? No.
Hell yeah.
But we certainly view him differently. Jim Kelly, if Scott Norwood kicks it a foot to the left, is Jim Kelly viewed differently? I think so, because he's Super Bowl champion. So, like, with Buffalo, they missed their kick, and who knows how that game would have played out. But now we're like, oh, yeah, Josh Allen, he can't win. Well, he would have beaten Patrick Mahomes if Bucker hadn't made a 50, whatever it was, 53, 54-yard field goal there, because Josh Allen then wins and goes on and plays for, an AFC title and maybe wins the Super Bowl, and we're not having this conversation. So many times it is these weird little things like kickers that decide legacies. But yeah, after the 2022, it did, the NFL changed their overtime to allow both teams to possess the ball. And that was one of those that afterwards they found it. Everyone was enraged, and that Josh Allen, that's this great quarterback and this great route, Allen never had a chance. They lost.
Changed it before that. I thought it was that Peyton Manning Super Bowl, wasn't it? Or
2022.
They tweak it.
2022 was changed to allow both teams to possess the ball in the extra period.
Yeah, but before that they'd already changed it once, right?
I think
they changed it to you have to. I think you get the ball if the other team doesn't score 7 or something.
Was that
Wasn't that it?
It might have been tweaked that if you kick a field goal, you no longer win the game. But yeah, in 2022, after the Allen,
no, I get that. I just think that they changed it. I thought they tweaked it twice.
I do think they tweaked it twice, and
because there was the Peyton Manning Super Bowl where Peyton Manning didn't get to touch the. Maybe it was a Super Bowl. It was a playoff game, and he didn't get to touch the ball in the overtime, and everybody freaked out about that, and they changed it.
I will do a little dive here and get you a definitive answer on that.
Hey, and how about this? Give me the right answer this time, okay?
Did I give you the wrong answer last time?
Well, Adrian Beltre.
That's true, but you didn't ask for
Marty Schottenheimer.
You didn't ask for that.
We trust you. You're a trusted research department at 1080 The Fan. We need this to be right.
That wasn't a research department. That was just me off the top of my head. But now I'm actually going to do some research into it.